The FV215B is a British Tier 10 tech tree tank destroyer, and at update 9.1, this vehicle just received one of the craziest buffs I've ever seen. First of all, it gained its original DPM back that it had lost in previous nerfs. So it's now at 3008 base DPM, and if you're running gun rammer, it's 3234, which is enough DPM to deal with pretty much everything in front of you. It got an HE penetration buff, now sitting at 187 millimeters. That's ridiculous. I mean, I've penetrated the side of E100s and Jagdpanzers with Hesh on a 215B. That was never possible before. This thing literally laughs at even well-armored vehicles' frontal plates. The 215B also received a hit point buff, now sitting with just one of the sandbag armor at 2,576. With all of these things added together, plus the fact that you can still use super speed boost, the 215B is probably one of the better tier 10 heavies in the game. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a great tank for the competitive scene of the game, but I would say it is a wonderful tank for just playing in general. So these two games you're going to see played here were two battles that I just played in the tank. I actually recorded a video on the 215B, did the whole video. It just finished uploading. I was about to publish it, and then I platooned with somebody for a couple games while it was uploading. And I had these two battles, which were way better than the two games I played live in the 215B. So I figured, yeah, instead of showcasing the 215B, then I'm going to show it with these two games. So wait until you see what the 215B can do with its incredible Hesh, its incredible DPM, and hit points that it now sits at. So the enemy team has what? They got a Batchat, Concept 1B, E50M, a 183, 215B, a Jagdpanzer, and an M6 Yo. Okay, well I'm going to be pushing up into this bush here. This is a fantastic spot to aim in on the enemy, especially if we spot, oh look at that, a Jagdpanzer crossing. Now I was aiming at him, trying to see if I could get a Hesh pen, and I took it, and there you go. 554 damage Hesh pen. That is insane. I mean, what? Yeah. So, Yag's now down a fourth of his health, but I'm not going to worry about that Yag. We're going to push over here, help out my toon mate, who's fighting the 215B, and we're going to aim it on his turret cheek. I've got my Cali on, so because of that, I'm able to butter through the 215B turret, and with that, we're up to 800 damage with 2 shells fired. We got the Batchat off to the side, okay, and I'm just trying to think of what I should do right now. I don't want to be penned, obviously, and I wasn't going to actually shoot at E50M. I want to shoot the Concept or something else that has a bit more alpha so they don't poke me. So we got the Batchat poking here, this dude's showing his turret, so we're going to get a nice Hesh pen, 503, thank you very much. Alright, we're up to 1,756 damage dealt already, although you can see that the turret still has weak spots. We got penned right in the hatch of our turret, which is definitely a downside of the 215B, but I think we get the final laugh, penning a Hesh right into the side of that Batchat, finishing him off, and breaking the 2,000 damage mark. Okay, so now we got the Concept. I'm going to get a nice pen on his vehicle there, and because I noticed the 215B on their team has left to the other side of the map, well, we have pretty nice damage, except for the fact that that 183 pulls around the corner. But you know what? We're going to Hesh pen that 183 for 500. We're over 3,000 damage now, and sure, I'm down to 600 health, but at least I got a big ol' laugh back into that 183 so that he learned his lesson. So we got an E50M, an M6 Yo, an FV215B, a whole full health team on their side. And all I have is a 683 health tank. Now I noticed that my 183 is off to the side of the map, and there you go. 183 does his job, saves me, you can see him right over there, pens the E50M, stopping that guy from doing anything. I get a Hesh into the lower plate of the Concept for a 644 max roll. Yeah, we're up to 4,000 damage dealt now, pretty solid. So what am I going to do now? Well, we got the 183 off to the side, which is, well, a bit of a problem, and they also have a pretty healthy Yag, if you remember, and I don't know where he is. And with the Concept in mid, that guy could easily just try and kill me. I mean, if that Concept played it right, he could have just poked over, cleared me, but he still has to be careful about that 183 in the back of the map, who is 100% saving our team from utter death right now. So I'm just chilling. I'm trying to find where the enemy 183 is. Okay, there's the 183, and oh boy, there's the Yag. Now, even though I'm running Cali, look at the armor the Yag has. I mean, it's actually insane how much armor the Yag has in this current update. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my Adrenaline, I'm going to get one shell into his lower plate, and again, we got our 183 in the back line, so if this Yag decides to push any further, yep, 846 health off, and I get a nice pen into his lower plate, and there you have it. We're up to 4,800 damage dealt now. They still have the 183, and they got a concept and the Yo, so this is still a bit of a tricky situation for us. Trying to figure out what I want to do. Well, first things first, I can get a pretty easy shell into this Yo after Eclipse. So I asked my teammate, he fired his shells, so we get a nice tap into the side for 300. Now we're over 5,000 damage dealt. Okay, so I can't do much about the Yo. I don't have enough health, and that guy's running a 2-shot, which means if he plays it right, he can easily clear me and my teammate with 1 shot each. So instead of doing that, our grill finishes off greatly the 183. And I'm going to push over towards this concept. And now, this is where it gets nasty. We're going to load in another high explosive shell, fire it into that concept, and even though I die, it doesn't matter, because I deal 5,785 damage, and I get a fire, finishing off his tank, and in the end, our team finishes off the enemy M6 Yo. So there you have it. This first battle, we were able to showcase where the Hesh, where the DPM, and everything about the 215B that was buffed is great. I mean, we were able to deal insane chunks in this game. And you definitely couldn't have done even close to what I did. We probably would have lost with the previous 215B. It wouldn't have had the Hesh pen to deal with the Yag or the concept, and definitely would not have had the DPM to deal with them either. So now that we've taken a look at that game, how about we take a look at the game where I deal even more damage than that one, by quite a big margin as well. So this battle started off pretty normal. In fact, I'm going to skip a little bit ahead. This game is basically just me driving and driving and driving and driving and driving until we got to about here, and this is where the game gets incredibly spicy. We knew that the enemy team had to be somewhere in this corner, because there's nowhere else they could have been. You can see our team on the mini-map is completely boxing them in, so we push off to the side. Unfortunately, my Hesh doesn't pen. The 183 misses, which is great. So at this point in time, we spot the Foch. Okay, that's 2 tanks spotted. We get some nice shells in. It starts to get pretty nasty, though. So that Foch is going to be cleared. We're going to aim in another shell onto his vehicle, load in a premium shell. I think mine pens. All right, so we're up to a pretty decent chunk of damage. We got the... oh, wow, Foch is dead already. We got the Type 68, fire a Hesh shell. There's that 187 millimeters of Hesh pen there, cutting right through his tank. All right, sweet. We're over 1,000 damage now at this point. We got the 183. Fire Hesh shell, 522. I mean, it's just insane what the Hesh pen on this tank can do to a vehicle like the 183. So now we got the IS-8. Fire a Hesh shell. Pens, 459. We've just been flinging a Hesh left, right, and centered. Unfortunately, my teammate got stuck, as you can see, right in front, which just sucks. He couldn't get out of there. But, I mean, we are in prime farming position. So now, I'm just going to take advantage of their team. So here we go. Nice shell into the E100. 327. A little bit of a low roll, but it's fine, because we're already up to 2,700 damage dealt, and I am not done anytime soon. There you go. Another nice shot. Now, the problem is, I know I have to be careful for the enemy 183, because that player can easily poke me at any moment, get the shell. And by the way, that shell there was crazy. I mean, this tank just has such a great gun on accuracy. It's actually insane. So right now we're doing okay. IS-8 sitting there, and I know because of that 183 sitting in the back, I can't really poke this, so I'm just going to wait, give the enemy time to push on up towards me. In this situation, we are honestly pretty solid off. I got a teammate behind me, and the C-100 pokes like a monkey, dies. Okay, thank you very much for your health. And then we got the IS-8 rushing, and in 2 more seconds, we should have a shell for this IS-8, and dead. Okay, so we've just cleared 2 tanks on their team. Now we got the IS-4, and we also got the 2 183s. I'm going to ignore the IS-4, get a nice Hesh into the rear of that 183 for 530. We're up to 5,000 damage now, and let's get another Hesh into the rear of the 183. Okay, 5,500 damage. Alright, well, let's see what else we can do. We got the IS-4 right here. Fire a nice premium shell into his tank. Thank you for your hit points, good sir. We're up to 6,000 damage dealt now. That 183 is cleared before I can do anything to him. We're going to aim in a shell in his hatch. Thank you. Another 395 tap there. And, I mean, is there anything else I need to say about this game? We're going to load in a high explosive shell into the side of this IS-4. There you go, 507 tap. And, yeah, 6,800 damage dealt now. What do I want to do here? Well, can't pen him in the turret, so I'm going to get to his side. Was thinking about firing an HE, but nah, doesn't really matter. We can fire standard shell. Penetrated on his vehicle, which is nice, and our T-54A1 doesn't fire the last shell onto him, which means we're still able to get a nice pen into his tank and deal 7,294 damage. What an insane battle for the 215B. I mean, is there anything else to say? 7,500 in total. 2 masteries in 2 games apart from each other. 215B is an insane tank now, and I would highly suggest to take a look at grinding it if this suits your playstyle. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and obviously you're not going to get games like this, but it's still pretty crazy that it did come out with these 2 games. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.